Welcome on in. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic here on this Wednesday night. Now I'm hoping that this will be the last Wednesday night, and after this we'll be moving back to our normal time of Tuesday, but we'll see how it goes. This week has been extremely busy, and of course with the some certain things going on at school right now, being on school board, it's been a little bit of a trying time here when it comes down to that. So with that being said, as you can see, what the name of the video is tonight is As the Pokemon YouTube Community Crumbles. That's right. We're going to continue to talk about this a little bit when it comes down to what's going on right now in the Pokemon hobby, whether it's divorced podcasts all the way down to just people pulling apart individuals in the hobby. I think that that's going to be a continuing issue that's going to continue to happen. As money flows, so do rifts in individuals, and I just kind of sit back and relax, be 100% honest with you. I think that there's some really good content creators out there. As I've said before, don't always listen to me. I'm not the end-all, be-all of information, and I never will claim to be that. I try to give people direction that's working for me, and that way I can have it laid out for you guys to try and help you on your Pokemon journey, and that's exactly how I try to run this channel. Now, when we're sitting here talking about things that are going on in the Pokemon hobby and what is currently happening, you can't completely ignore what's happening with the Pokemon YouTube community. Once again, there's a lot of good creators out there that seem to be having some rifts between themselves, and you know, it is what it is. I mean, once again, we're seeing some different changes, some different things happening, and as stresses continue to grow, as product continues to be difficult, especially for a lot of these PokeTubers and YouTube creators have gotten to a point where they've started to create businesses around Pokemon, and now they can't supply their own businesses, which of course causes some stress, and stress of course causes people to start pushing and pulling apart and cause some clashes in the community. So these are all things to be expected as we move forward. I think if we get reprints, a lot of these things are going to cool down. A lot of the issues are going to subside, and it's going to become a little bit better when it comes down to, you know, the futuristic side of how things are going to go. So I just wanted to make that clear that, you know, when it comes down to it, a lot of things are changing. A lot of people are starting to pull. This is Opossum Bud Information Central right now, and he's having a fun time just ripping people apart. Same thing with a couple other creators. Of course, if you do watch some of them, you do know that there are a lot of creators, and I can list some of them out there right now that are really going after and deep diving, such as Roxandy, another one that's very big into digging into what's happening right now and who's doing what and what's happening and how it's happening and who's at fault and how these things are happening. Opossum Bud always another one. Mimikyu View Brew is another one as well. If you want to have some fun watching them kind of pull people apart. Pokey NE. If you guys do not follow him, I do find his information kind of interesting. But I also, you know, think that sometimes he puts himself into positions that, you know, puts him into a spot where he could see some backlash for some things. And once again, we have curators going after Danny Phantom, as we've already talked about before. And when you got people going after Danny Phantom, let's be 100% honest, it's a really hard take to have, a really hard stance to hold. And it's just, people are going to continue with this stress load. And I'm not going to dig too much into it. It's a cool little catchy title. It's something to discuss as we're sitting back relaxing here tonight on this lovely Wednesday night here. But it's definitely a really interesting factor that's going to continue to happen. Hopefully we see some new product here in the near future. When we see new product, of course, that's going to really, really change the dynamic once again, and going to bring things back to a more normalized system again, where we can start looking for investments a little bit heavier. I do have a video coming out here at the end of the week, probably maybe do it on Thursday, probably Friday. We're going to be doing a video going over some single investments or some opportunities that are possibly out there right now that you guys can look at as well. These are going to be single opportunities that we will be putting out there for you on Thursday or Friday for some information on that as well. So a little bit getting into what we've done here at Northwoods TCG, which is getting into the investment side of the Pokemon TCG again. We're going to continue to push the business side as well as we can move forward on things. And once again, it's what we do. It's what we've done for a long period of time. And I feel like it's good to get back to roots again, start looking at the investment side. There are opportunities that are presenting themselves. There are things that we can see that are currently happening right now that are starting to maybe shift downwards, which doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It just means it's it's a good opportunity to maybe jump in on these particular cards because they also have some really good potential in other facets as well. So I really do like looking at that for those overall bottom line investments. Illustrated Rare is still doing extremely well. They're all kind of retracting a little bit from where they were from their all-time highs, but just because they retract and come down in price does not necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. It just means that we're seeing a little bit of a course correction. We had a new set come out. That, of course, changes things. Now we've got Destin's Rivals coming as well. That's going to change things as that set releases. It kind of relieves and alleviates the market a little bit because people are now focusing on Journey Together right now and what's available in that set. And as time moves, then they'll shift back and kind of reantiquate. So we've got a little bit of a time for breathing room to see some retraction on some of these and gives you an opportunity to potentially purchase those at a little bit of a discounted price before things go up again. And when we get Destin Rivals, when we get this, Glory of Team Rocket set here in the United States, the Mewtwo looks like fire. I really am excited for that card. Am I going to go out and buy a ton of it at retail pricing or at scalper high-end pricing? No, I think I'll probably just try and get what I can get, and we will just go with that as our option. So before we go any further, just a reminder to anybody out there right now, if you do enjoy the channel, make sure you consider the subscription or the membership to the channel. It's greatly appreciated if you want to become a member of the channel. And once again, this year my goal is to try and get 30 members to join the channel, and that way I can have a cup of coffee every day at work for the year. So it's kind of a fun little goal, something that we're working for here today here at Northwoods TCG. We are working on more content, just so you guys are aware. We're going to be working more with the investing side of things, going back to roots. But overall, good things still occurring. I mean, you'll see some opportunities. Some things are moving. Illustrated Rares are going to continue to look good. Futuristically, I think that there's some really good SIRs out there as well. And I think that if you guys just kind of keep trucking and working and moving along, you'll find things to do. As you can see behind me, I got some more Journey Together from distributor, not at my normal pricing for it, but actually at a more expensive price. And let me know, is the video acting weird again, or is it just me? Nope. Okay, it must be just me. I refreshed it. So sorry about that. I was checking because the video was all wonky last week, and it seems like now it's doing all right. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Once again, if you are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe, and also make sure you guys hit that like button as you guys roll on in. It's greatly appreciated. So overall, we're seeing some alleviation right now for some of the sets, so we can go ahead and take a look at some of the ones. I normally do this on the lives is go ahead and take a look on Pokedata.io, pull up some random cards here real quick, and just see how they are performing right now and what we could see potentially for them in the future. So if we're going to go, I'm going to go into some Illustrated Rares. Of course, Journey Together, some people ask me about Journey Together. I've gotten some people bringing that up, wondering about whether or not Journey Together is investable. Personally, I'm the type that's just going to wait it out at this point in time, just because a new set sometimes takes some time to really sort through and shuffle through where things are going to line up and what kind of opportunities we will have inside of this set futuristically. Do I think there's some really good cards? Yes. Do I think that we'll still see some drawdown on some of these cards in Journey Together? Yes. So I think time is of the essence on this. Even when I thought maybe some of them were starting to stabilize here last week, even the like Lily's Clefairy and stuff have come down a little bit further yet. I mean, we were around 195, 200 last week when we talked on around the 9th here. So we were about $200 on the 9th, and now we've seen it kind of pull down to about 180 to 195. eBay is selling about 180. TCG Player 195 right now, so we're seeing a little bit of a pull down on this one still. First 10s have finally hit the markets, guys, so if you did not know that, the first Lily's Clefairy 10s are hitting the market at this point in time as well. We're looking at between $900 and $1,000. The first one did sell at about $1,822. So really crazy on the first one that hit the ground, which once again, not abnormal, nothing that's absolutely crazy when you're talking about these sets. So the first one out the door usually has some really good opportunities when we're looking at these particular positions and what you can see. So first out the door, first out the gate, once again, now you're into the race to the bottom when it comes down to some of these artworks in Journey Together. So I do have a Lily's Clefairy out to grading and just hit the research stage. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I will be able to get that one in fairly quick before it completely dives down really far. So hopefully that's an opportunity we might have, but there are some really good cards. I mean, Lily's Rombi, really, really nice. Ends Reshiram, another one that's looking very, very good. The Waylord still holding. The Articuno, once again, one of my favorite personal bird that I do enjoy. So the Articuno is a very, very nice card in this set. I think it's really well done. So Journey Together. Still, be patient on it. I think that there's going to be plenty of opportunity futuristically on that set. It's just going to have to kind of antiquate and get down in price. Everything's going to have to shuffle where it needs to go. And everything needs to just kind of get into a relaxed position. So hopefully we'll see that happen here in the near future. Now we can go back to the last set. Let's just take a quick little talk right now. When we're talking about the Pokemon investment market right now, we can't skip out on Prismatic Evolutions, of course. Prismatic Evolutions is presenting a huge price right now. The Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box still sitting at about $325. The mini tins are still hot to bother, about $25 a piece for those. And you're still looking at a Prismatic Elite Trainer Box sitting at about $135 currently, along with the booster bundles at about $75. So prices are holding extremely well on the prices, but it's not surprising with the lack of product, number one. And number two, the price of these SIRs in this set, the pull rate's a little bit harder, which is, of course, driving the price of these particular cards up fairly well. The Umbreon's still sitting at about $1,400. The Sylveon's still about $500. Leafeon about $460. We have the Espeon at $420. The Vaporeon sitting at $382. The Glaceon at $330. And the Flareon at $317. Followed by the Jolteon coming on at $316. So there you go with all of your evolutions holding the top 8 spots. Not surprising. Roaring Moon coming in right behind it at $300. And the EVEX coming in at $230. Followed by the Courage sitting at it there about $225, and the Dragapult $275. So that's going to pretty much round out your top lines in that particular set. But when you're seeing raw value cards of these sitting that high, there is a good incentive for people to want to purchase these, and by them wanting to purchase these, of course, is going to continue to drive the market. Umbreon Master Ball is still sitting at about $175 as well, just so you guys have an idea. That even the Master Ball, the Umbreon cards are still holding all value. So if I look up, just going to look up real quick, all the Umbreon cards right now. So basically, if you can get an Umbreon Master Ball, you're at $175 raw. And if you go to a Pokeball, just a regular one, it's still about $7. Compared to most of the other ones sitting at about 50 cents, that's a really, really good value even on the Umbreon Master Ball. So there is some value all over the place in this particular set, and it's not going to change. That being said, we're going to go into the next set. I'm just kind of going back on the last few sets here, just to get a recap here as of today's date on April 16th, 2025. Pikachu EX still doing really well, sitting at about $345 currently. And the 10 is slowly sinking in price as well, just because there's getting to be a lot of population of that out there. Right now, we're almost got 4,000 of them out, and we've gone from about $2,800, the slow roll, all the way down. Like I said, race to the bottom currently. So when we were at the first of the year here, we were at about $1,200 for it, and currently the PSA 10 is down to about $885. Same thing when we're talking about the raw card itself. The raw card was sitting at about $400, $450. And we've slowly kind of sunk down to about $339. Still a new set, still got some time to change and see some movements on them. And when we're talking about the video coming up, we're not going to be talking about these particular sets. We're going to be talking about some of the older ones, some of the early sets of Scarlet and Violet. Let's be 100% honest, we probably won't see much reprints at this point in time. If we have not seen reprints of these sets, we're getting to be 2 years out, so base set is already over 2 years out. Paldea Evolved now is already 2 years out. Obsidian Flames is getting close to being 2 years out, and Paradox Rift and 151 are all right on the edge of being out that 2 years. And I know some people are going to go, well, what's the importance of 2 years? Well, typically when it comes down to the Pokemon TCG and their reprint schedule, they do not do reprints over 2 years. Typically, right when it comes into usually the last 4 months before the 2 year mark, that's when we'll see some major reprints of some of the sets. That's when we saw the large Vivid Voltage reprint that we got and the Darkness Ablaze reprint that kind of squashed those prices on those booster boxes. They came very late, and it really didn't give anybody an opportunity to really capitalize on that. So that's one of those things. We could see it. Is it possible? The further and further we get away from 2 years out, the less and less likely it becomes. So we're going to just kind of play it by ear. We're going to watch what's going to happen here. And hopefully at this point in time, we won't see much for them. Shrouded Fable, another one. I just kind of want to touch base on it. Currently, ETBs still not gaining much traction. ETBs have actually kind of gone down in value. When it comes down to their cost, they were up to about 54, and I saw them down to about 51 again. So we are seeing a bit of retraction on those when it comes down to sealed product. The cards as well, we've seen them kind of retract as well. You go to the Persian. Persian was sitting at about 185, or yeah, well, sorry, about $75 for the Persian card, 70, 75, and we're all the way down to about $50 currently, getting under $50 at this point in time. So we are seeing some, once again, pull down from some of these sets, some of the cards that are going to do really well. Earthen Vessel, once again, was one of the hottest cards in the set. We've seen it kind of pull back as well. Pricing is down. It was up about $85, at one point in time. Some places, now it's down to about $40. So we've been seeing that card kind of pull back as well. So pricing is kind of relocating again. And as we get closer to Destin's Rivals, there may be more of a buying opportunity on a lot of these as we get a little bit closer to that point in time. So just want to do kind of a recap on where we are in the current sets. Are they buying sets? Not quite yet. I think that if you can get them at MSRP, a lot of these, if you go in and look at the value, Shrouded Fable is probably your one outlier that if you go and buy an ETB right now, is there going to have value in it right away when you first get it? No. Shrouded Fable, you're actually get it at MSRP at Walmart, you're actually going to lose money, which is why at my Walmart, there's still about 20 of them sitting on the shelf. Nobody is really buying Shrouded Fable at this point in time. The Persian and that are pretty tough pull rates when it comes down to the accessibility and the availability of actually getting those in. So just something to keep in mind as you're looking at these and making decisions for yourself. I did see some base set ETBs show up at Walmart. I didn't pick any of them up for myself, but there was an opportunity for those at about $55. Currently, they're about $66 a piece on them, and so we're seeing those as well kind of creeping up. So once again, it may not be the worst idea to purchase them at this point in time, because even at the first of the year, they were about $40 at the market value, and then all of a sudden now they're at about $65. And we've been seeing some fairly decent movement, but now it's kind of flatlined. But we could see them push again as well as we get further and further away from reprints. It's just everything since realistically when Journey Together. So if I go and pull this graph open for the last 6 months, and I go to about March 29th, March 25th, right in that range, I think Journey Together was released on the 27th. All the things that were kind of moving up have kind of just slowed and died. We haven't seen much movement on them, or we've seen a small retract on some of the listings on those, because I think people still need to move product. So if people need to move product, they're going to, of course, do that, and they're going to start relieving the price to try and get that capital to keep moving. That's the bigger part for a lot of them, is keeping capital moving, and that's the name of the game when it comes down to a business and how you're going to operate your business. Cash is king, and how you get cash and keep cash moving is definitely going to be a factor for what you're going to do. Magikarp still holding well. Once again, nothing really crazy going on. If we go to the Paldea Evolved Elite Trainer boxes, they're up to about $85. So we've seen a pretty good increase in value on the Paldea Evolved ETBs. Those did hit the shelves. There's a bunch of them that came out about 3 weeks ago on those. So once again, great opportunity on some of those cards or some of these sets to find them at your local Walmart and Targets and get in on them. One that I have not seen come back at all is going to be Obsidian Flames ETBs. I have not seen any reprint or any showing of those in the stores, but they are up to about $87 as well. So if you can get a lot of these at MSRP, if you're looking for that investment, that Pokemon investment to hold, there are some good opportunities for that here when it comes down to these sets, and especially the early sets. I think there's getting to be a little bit of a relaxation when it comes down to jumping into these, just because of the fact that people are knowing that these sets are getting old enough to where reprints probably aren't on the docket for them any longer. And that's going to really help you on that sealed investment side. I mean, even the 6-pack bundles for Obsidian Flames are up to $45 a piece, which is pretty impressive for a 6-pack bundle comparatively to even like Sword and Shield. So we had them in Lost Origins. If we go to Lost Origins and take a look at the 6-pack bundle in there, oh, they don't have it listed. Oh, here it is. Yep, they do. So not a 6-pack bundle of Lost Origins because the price of Lost Origins has finally gone up, and equivalently is about $68. But considering the age difference on the sets and the popularity of the two sets, that's not doing as well as you would have thought comparatively to some of the ones in the Scarlet and Violet block right now. And we can do the same thing for Silver Tempest because that's one of the ones that did have a 6-pack bundle as well. So the booster bundle for that is about $50. So Obsidian Flames currently sitting at almost the same price as the Silver Tempest bundle. And that's what we're kind of seeing right now, is that we are seeing some of these Scarlet and Violet, because of the lack of print, is definitely retaining that price value inside of them to see some growth and opportunity to jump into them. So that's what we got going on right now, everybody. I just wanted to jump through that stuff. When it looks at investments, there are some opportunities. We're seeing some retraction. Some retractions are good in the market when it comes down to it. So you really have that opportunity to potentially jump in and get value right now. Build a little bit of a value backing inside of your product. Plus, give you that buffer that if you feel like you need to get out of it, at least you have the opportunity to get out if you need capital right away. So you aren't necessarily locked into the long haul on some of these products. If you can get them at MSRP, if you can get them at Walmart when you're going through and visiting, or Target, definitely some great opportunities to just kind of get in with some good feelings, knowing that you got some security backing when it comes down to your investment. It's always nice to be able to pull that off and have that availability. But otherwise, that's what I got for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and jump to the chat like I always do. Greatly appreciate it. I see Roxbury69 in here, Redneck 5413 in here as well, along with Antonio. How you doing, Antonio, this evening? How you doing, Redneck? And Roxbury, thank you so much for joining. Roxbury says, I cannot believe anybody would go after Danny out of all people. Super good dude. I agree. Honestly, I'm going to reach out to Danny Phantom because I am really honestly trying to see if I can get him on the channel here and just have a little bit of a discussion. I know he has a busy schedule. And I know that he's going to be probably one of the more difficult ones to pin down, but I really hope that I could actually pull it off. It'd be really cool to have a sit down, especially since he's from the same state I am. He's in Wisconsin as well. He's just in southern Wisconsin. So he has a good feeling on the market. He has a really good grasp for where things are currently in the market. And so that's a really good piece of knowledge to be able to have when it comes down to what's going on and what opportunities there may be in the market here in the near future. Redneck 5413, do you have any prismatic ETBs I can buy off of you? Negative. I literally have one left, and it's right behind me, kind of just right here over the corner. So I do have one left on my shelf. That's kind of my display. That's mine. And then I have the Pokemon Center Edition one. I got 4 of them in the box that I am not opening currently. So I don't have any of them that I am willing to sell. Just seeing that I have 2 of them, it's not something I want to give up at this point in time. Antonio, like I said, Antonio said hi and welcome in. I see a few more people came in. Make sure you guys hit that like button as you guys roll on in. It's kind of weird being on a Wednesday. I don't think the algorithm likes it as much. I will say that. But I do think that we're doing decent for it being on a Wednesday. It always seems like people watch it the next day. So it's greatly appreciated for everybody that comes and hangs out. If you do have anything that you want to discuss or look up or shoot, if you're questioning on something and want to just throw it off the wall and see what I have as a response, that's always awesome. I love to do that kind of stuff as well for people that are not as common to me on Wednesday. That's usually what happens on Tuesday, so just so everybody is aware there. But otherwise, like I said, investment looking good. When it comes down to PokeTubers right now, definitely kind of getting rough territory for them. I will say that for sure. They seem to be crumbling at the seams and having some issues. But like I said, it's stress. It's stress related, especially for you get this. You're almost getting this like offset right now where we have people pushing from one way and people are going after, oh, you're too big and it's your fault that this is happening. And then you get other people who are saying you're small and having to go to drastic measures, and that's really not good. And there's all these different things that that are issues. Driftless TCD, do you ever make it down to the Madison Card Show? I have not. It's one of them that I have been looking at going to, but I have not made it down there yet, Driftless. It's definitely been on my radar. I do have been doing a few of them over in Minneapolis. So Minneapolis is about 2.5 hours away to get to that one. Madison for me is about 4 hours. And depending on where it is down there, it can definitely, I haven't looked up the address, but I do know I've seen it. I've looked at it. I've considered it. I just have not pulled the trigger and done it yet. So might be something that I still may. I'm trying to work at getting more card shows, but you know, with Dad's condition right now, he can't work. He can't do a lot at this point in time. So I'm kind of limited. Like I couldn't even go to Comic-Con this year, or the spring Comic-Con in Chicago, which is crazy considering it's that close and it's in the spring. It should be a fairly easy, but with the circumstances, it just wasn't a good opportunity for me to get away, and I really wanted to. I had plans to, and then, of course, things change when, you know, things happen to your parents. So we got to deal with it and work with it and make the best adjustments that we can. But, yeah, definitely looked at it. Definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. I was going to take a look. Do you know, Driftless, when the next one is, or is it like a weekly show? I'm just opening it up on YouTube right now, or Facebook right now, because I see they got a Facebook page. So it looks like 4 hours ago, April updates. So that it is going to be April 27th, looks like the next one coming up. So April 27th is going to be the card show, the 26th and 27th. So, and then 27th, usually monthly. Okay. That's why I was just going back in time here. So it looks like that they had one. Okay, March 29th was the last one. So yeah, it looks like we're going to be that you have monthly. So yeah, I'm definitely not opposed to it. I would definitely, I've definitely looked at it. It's not the first time I've had this one come across my desk. So just looking. So yeah, I'll have to keep it in mind. Here it is. I was looking for the website. I figured they had to have a website someplace that had all this laid out. Because maybe I'll even get a table there one time and see how it goes. Yeah, so they got one in April, May, June, July through December, dates to be determined. So, yeah, I see that. That's what their big announcement is here on Facebook. So, Madison Card Show is doing it so that you can do basically, where was it? Day one is just regular Madison Card Show for sports and TCGs. And then it says April 27th, the first ever Madison Pokemon Show, TCGs only. So basically they're going to kick the sports people out on Sunday and they're going to just go strictly to TCGs, which is kind of, you know, for business wise, it's kind of weird that you would do that because you're kicking out a lot of your clientele. And I'm not going to lie, actually, some of my sales at previous card shows have gone to, you know, actually to sports enthusiasts because they are looking for some of those collection pieces, something that they could, number one, hold for a little bit as a collection or flip later. Of course, that seems to be, that is the one mentality. While we're on this little bit of a tangent talking about sports, that is probably one of the things that I know some sports people would probably 100% disagree with this. They would probably absolutely say it's false, but realistically, when it comes down to the difference between sports and Pokemon people that I can see is that a majority of Pokemon people are very driven on collection and they want to hold things long term and they're chasing their nostalgia and they're holding on to things that they have a value, that they enjoy and that they want for themselves or their families to have futuristically. And what I've seen with a lot of sports people and a lot of sports collectors or collectors that I know, most of them are just strictly looking at the monetary value. So they will literally buy anything with the anticipation that there's monetary value in it and that they will actually see some return on that. So everything to them is an investment. Not everything is just a collecting piece. So like for myself, I've got Flareons. Yeah, I mean, I could sell some of these Flareons now and make some really good money on them, but it's not something that I'm going to do. because I like my collection pieces, and I'm not planning on selling. They're not even in my mind as something that would sell. And that is just something that we don't see as much when it comes down to a lot of sports collectors. Everything has a price. Everything can go out the door right now. So, and another perfect example of it is that Flareon. So I don't know if you can see it, but this card here, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This card right here, I graded this one myself. It came back a 10. With it being a 10, right now, this card is going for $607. When it came back as a 10, it was going for like $200 and some dollars. But to be 100% honest, my kids will probably sell it just because I have no intention of selling that card. And I will buy Flareon cards with the intention of keeping them. I will buy a lot of cards with the intention of keeping them. So I'm not necessarily always flipping and trading. I do have things that I want to keep. I have things that I want to stay on my shelf and be with me for the rest of my life. And that's just the difference. Not all sports collectors. I'm not putting all of them in a bag. It's just the majority of them that I have met have made that clear that that's kind of their feelings when it comes down to it. And it is what it is. I mean, that's just their way of doing things, and that's fine. Once again, everything's fair game when it comes down to how you do business and how you handle yourself. So I don't judge it, but it's just a real difference that I see. They will buy Pokemon cards. They will buy a Charizard card because they think there's going to be value futuristically. If they will not buy cards if they do not think that there's value in it futuristically. All right. So we got that. Thank you so much, iPhone. We got family is number one. I will always tell you that. Family should be number one. Whatever you're doing, whatever's happening, family should come first. So rather than going down and spending time with friends and YouTube creators that I work with and done things with in the past, I decided that I needed to stay back and support my dad when he was coming from surgery, because he's just getting his driver's license back here today. So he'll actually have his driver's license back today. He's pretty excited to be able to get up and get moving, which is, my dad is a very active individual, and for him to be held down and not able to work or not able to even leave the house without having someone drive him someplace was absolutely killing him. So him being able to move is going to be a good thing. I'm glad that he finally got his driver's license back and gives him that availability to do that. I'm sure he's going to be gone first thing in the morning to go someplace, anywhere that he can. So, but that's good. Once he gets moving, then I feel more comfortable going places. So I don't know, Driftless, if I'll make it down to this month's show, but maybe I can do May. I see it's May 31st is going to be the next one. So May 31st is going to be the next one. I'll put that down on the calendar as a maybe, and I will try and make it there, because there's also one that I go to in the Twin Cities that I've actually gone to a couple times, and it's definitely one that I want to get to a little bit more often. I'm trying to pull it open here real quick, because I don't know where you are, Driftless, if you're close, if you're like down south, way in Illinois. I mean, some people from Illinois come up. It's not that big of a deal. Let me see. Card show. So Minnesota card show. So we got the Minnesota card show. And that one is actually a little bit closer to me. It's only about 2.5 hours away. So it's able for me to just kind of drive there one day. Madison, I go to the hotel room that you're in. I'm actually into there. I'm by the Dalles. So you're not too far. You could actually go either direction then. Because another one you should look up that does have a monthly show, and they actually have specific days for things, because they're like continuously going. If you're looking for a card show, is they got one April 10th and 13th. So we just missed that one. And now I'm just looking at the next venue. So they got one May 3rd, which is going to be sports only. And then they have one May 4th, which is going to be TCGs only. So, and then there's a $1,000 in Team Rocket related door prizes that are going to be there as well. So yeah, I mean, there's always an opportunity with that one as well to get into it. But yeah, this Sheridan Hotel, that's where we actually do our Farm Bureau meetings. So I go down there once or twice a year, and we have a convention at that exact same room. So I know how big that room is, and they open it all up. It's a fairly good space. So that one's doing extremely well also, which is good to see. Driftless, I forgot how far north north you were from Eau Claire. I am about an hour. It's about an hour and 40 minutes to Eau Claire. I am up by Hayward, so I'm up at way up in the northern part. I'm only an hour away from Lake Superior, so I'm at the northern half, very upper northern half of the state. I'm on the edge of lake effect snow. Dash is in the house. Welcome on in, Dash. He says, will you be investing heavily into Destin's Rivals set? Yes, if I can get any. Yes, I think that it's going to be a really good investment set. I was skeptical until I saw the Mewtwo, and now that the Mewtwo is out, I definitely think that it's going to be a really, really good set. I think the Mewtwo is going to sell it finally. I think I finally got a Mewtwo card that I want to chase personally, so that's a really good benefit as well. So, yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to do really well. I think it's going to be a really good set, and overall, I think that there's enough of it chased into it to make it worth it. I know some people are complaining about the cards in it, and, you know, I don't know. I think the cards are fairly decent. I think a lot of people were just hoping for all the old vintage, like the old Team Rocket or Team Rocket EX or Team Rocket Returns. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that they kind of switched it up a little bit. Would I like to see some Gen 1 or some Gen 2 inside of there? Yes, but it's not really necessary in my opinion. I think that some people just need to get off of the the fact that everything needs to be Gen 1, Gen 2 to be successful. I think that a set definitely these sets all have some really good potential value in them, and I think that overall, I think they're going to do well. I think, once again, you're looking at a new group of investors, a new group of community members, a new group of people looking at these cards that aren't necessarily stuck on the Gen 1. So, Mewtwo looks good. I was looking at the Houndoom. I'm really looking forward to the Houndoom. I think that that's a pretty... I don't know if anybody's looked at some of these cards, and if you haven't, definitely take the time. Go ahead and jump on the Poke Beach. They definitely have them all laid out here for you as well. So, the Houndoom is a pretty sick card. I am kind of really excited for that one. I want that one for my collection. Going through them a lot. Some of these here, some of them are hard to tell what they are. The Wobbuffet, definitely want the Wobbuffet. That's a pretty sweet card to be adding into your collection too, going backwards. They got a nice little Meowth. Meowth is finally getting his Illustrator Rare coming as well. The Moltres card looks pretty cool. As I'm sitting here saying people are going to break away from Gen 1, I'm pulling all the Gen 1s, but you know what? It is what it is. Moltres, yeah, the Moltres looks absolutely amazing. I'm really excited for that. The Zamazenta, I really think, is a really cool artwork. I think that that's a really, really nice rendition of the Zamazenta. Really cool card artwork there. The Raticate is kind of a cool one as well. I don't know. I just kind of find it funny that they actually brought Raticate into the mold of this. So yeah, I think that it's gonna be one of those things. Crobat, really, really cool one as well. I don't know if you guys seen the Crobat EX. Really cool artwork on that Crobat EX. The Giovanni or the Rockets Mewtwo EX. Definitely going to be a nice one as well. I think that that's going to do really well. Both the Illustrator Rare or the Secret Illustrator Rare and the Gold card, both are going to be pretty hot cards when it comes down to those ones. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really good set. I think that there's finally some decent cards to chase in this set to maybe give you a little bit of a boost to try and get into it or want to get into it. Another card that I think is pretty cool is the Giovanni card, the full art Giovanni. I know it's not going to be like as hot as, you know, like Rocket's Proton or something like that, or, you know, Arian or something like that. One of the waifus is definitely going to be one of the bigger chases in it, but I think the Giovanni card is really nice as well. I think that there's really, really decent cards in this set. So some people are Debbie Downer about it because, oh, it doesn't have, you know, all these different whatever. You know, it's time to move on. It's getting to be, at this point in time, you are in 2025, guys. Pokemon has shifted. The market has changed. Life has changed. Everything is different. And if you haven't found a way to adapt to it at this point in time, you should probably just relax and start keeping your opinions to yourself a little bit, because I'm happy with it. I think it's going to do well. I think, you know, once again, you could have done better. You could always make that argument. You could have done whatever, but everybody's going to have that argument. I don't think that there's always necessarily some founding behind that. Antonio, bought Billy Bolt box and only got one hit on the box. Hop, Zashi, and Full Art. Yeah, the boxes, in my experience, even in the past, boxes are very light when it comes down to it. That's just been my experience when I used to open, even now opening things. The only boxes that did really well, in my opinion, were the Sea and Sky boxes. So if you've gotten your chance to open up one of those, the Crown Zenith Sea and Sky boxes, then they've definitely had some banger hits inside of there. We've pulled a lot of great cards out of there, a lot of the higher end cards out of that particular one. So definitely worth, some of them are worth the open if you can get them at MSRP. If you are getting them at full price, not so much. It's going to be pretty hard to quantify that into a decent deal if you have to buy a Sea and Sky box at, what are they, 100 and, last time I looked, they were like $120. Sea and Sky. Gonna make me do the stinking okay, hold on. Sea and Sky Premium Collection. So what do we go? Now they're up to about $150. So if you're paying for $150 for that particular box, the pull rates are going to be pretty dismal unless you hit the Tina or you hit the Mewtwo or one of the high-end parts of that set. But I have not. I've hit one gold card out of there. We hit when we opened them on the live streams, we opened one. I think we opened a total of 10 of them because I kept one. I got one left for my 11th one. We opened a total of 10. We hit one gold card out of them. We hit actually 2 Mewtwo's out of the boxes and then 1 gold out of the set. And the gold was just the Palkia. So not the highest end one. Still good to get a gold. If you would have bought it, then then they were a lot cheaper. So if you did get the gold at that point in time, then you did decent on that particular box, and you actually did some value out of it, which is good. But at $150, I mean, you're really stuck on pulling the Tina. Realistically, the Tina, the Arceus, the Mewtwo are going to be the ones that are going to get you the closest on raw card value. Plus, if you get a grouping of different Illustrator rares in there, or like the Pikachu or the Mew, definitely gives you a chance to potentially bolster that. Get you close to that 150, but there again, you got to go a long way to get the 150, plus tax and shipping and everything else to get it to you. So that's always a factor when you're looking at these sets, when you're opening and trying to get cards. But the Sea and Skybox has definitely had some very, very good pull rates out of them from all the ones that I opened. Antonio says at least it was the Billy Bolt Full Art Black Star promo. Yeah, it's a really good promo. I think I like the Billy Bolt Iono cards personally. I think that they're all really good, and they're going to do really well. I think Iono's getting a little bit of traction in the TCG right now. Plus, on top of it, Billy Bolt kind of. I know my daughter loves Billy Bolt, so another one. Pokemon seems to be making some characters that are becoming loved by women, which is good. That way, once again, you start building that, maybe getting some women into the hobby, which will open up another grouping. Like Lorcana, like I said, it's a very good. Lorcana is very good at drawing in both men and women into it, and young girls into the sets, which has really been doing well for the overall performance of Lorcana, in the past. And still, I hear a lot of people say that they do play. Well, we got a lot of women's and girls playing because of the princesses and the Disney catch. Iono and Billy Bolt definitely seems to be doing it. I know my daughter loves Billy Bolt. Clefairy, of course, is definitely another one. It's been an old timer, but still really enjoyable for women to get into. So there's some things. The other one my daughter really loves, and she keeps telling me that she wishes they made a plushie of it, is the Furret. The Furret is one that she's really getting a hankering for, and she wants like a plushie or something. The Furret. Antonio got it because my wife loved the box and the figures inside. That's exactly just it. My daughter is the same way. She is really liking Iono, and she's really liking like Billy Bolt. That really something that she enjoys. I didn't buy the box. I did see it on the shelf. I did not purchase it myself. But yeah, I think that Pokemon's starting to kind of shift that way, especially in the Scarlet and Violet era. We're seeing some more of those cutesy type Pokemon showing up, which is definitely going to, in the long run, help Pokemon maybe get some more user base or some more organic growth futuristically when we get to a point where we get to a market where it's normalized again. You want to see some facets opening up and some opportunities potentially in the future. And let me tell you what, Billy Bolt makes a really nice Squashmallow because my daughter has it. It's really a nice shape for it, and it actually makes sense. So there you go. That some opportunities possibly. And once again, if Rapidash, another one. I mean, Galarian Rapidash, my daughter loves it because it's a unicorn. And we've seen that card do really well as time goes on. So Antonio Hops Zacian, there is no PSA 10 for full art and one PSA 9. Which one is that one? The Hops Zacian. Yeah, there are no 10s, are there? There's 1 9. No, I don't even see a 9 sold yet. I don't see any graded cards sold for Zacian. I mean, it may not be just up yet. The Iono's Billy Bolt. Yeah, there's been 110 sold for $120 right now on the Iono's Billy Bolt. Salamence EX has had 110 sold at $1,100 at that rate. Actually, they've had 2 sold. So they've had 1 sold at $1,100 and 1 sold at $1,175, or $1,075. And Zoark, have we seen any sales there? Yeah, we've got 110 on there, about $540 for Zoark. And then the Clefairy, of course, the other one I did already talk about. We did have 1 sale up at about $1,800, but now we're sitting at about $900 average for that card right now. And it will be a race to the bottom. Once again, as things kind of keep moving and progressing, we're going to see more and more of these cards come back from grading. As more and more of them come back from grading, the price is going to continue to kind of drive down. These are just the first ones that just showed up on Express Grading. The gold Iono Billy Bolt. This has been 1 for about $300. Antonio, I think the Salamence will probably be the top card soon. It's really making a run for it, so I could see it happening. Because actually, the price has been kind of just flat. That card has really not changed much in value. Well, I guess it's down about $100. Or what is it doing here? 110. So pre-release, it was at 165. It dropped down to about 140, and it's kind of just been bouncing about 140 to 110 with several sales right in that range. So I don't know if it'll be top. I think it's going to have a really hard time because historically, Lily cards do extremely well. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see Zoark continue to drop off because that one's been dropping down fairly quickly on the raw value. So it was almost about $320, and that card is actually already down to, latest sale here is about 88 on eBay and about 98. So we're going to see the value of that drop. So you're going to see Salamence and Zoark are going to switch places here in the near future, if not by tomorrow. So Salamence is going to be making a little bit of a move up, but the Zoark is going to be dropping. Salamence actually is listed at 104, and the recent sales are actually about 110. So we're seeing some value on the one that it's going up a little bit as well. They're flatlining at least. That's the good thing is that all these cards in the latest set are flatlining. So that's giving us an opportunity to maybe look at these things as value, especially with the reprint history right now of Pokemon. It's definitely not out of the question to want to potentially jump in on some of these investments and get in on them while they're flatlined before they start recovering, because once they start to recover, the value on them goes up pretty fast. So, yeah, I don't know, Antonio. I just don't see, I don't think that it's going to overtake, personally, I just don't think it's going to overtake the Lily Clefairy. I think that card's going to stay pretty firmly in that number 1 spot, just because Lily does extremely well. So, all right, guys. I know it's Wednesday. It's a little bit weird. Next week, I should be going back to Tuesday, just so everybody is aware. I don't have anything on my schedule. We might have baseball practice, but baseball practice gets done at like 7 o'clock. So that's going to be no problem with me getting back in time to do the lives at my normal time. So as long as I don't have any, big surprises come forward where, something happens at school or something where I'm forced to be able to be drawn away again. Plan is to go back to Tuesday nights, getting in here about 9 o'clock on Tuesday as well, just like we've been doing in the past. More videos to come. I am going to try and keep on the video train as well, trying to keep those moving for you guys and keeping the information flowing a little bit more here on YouTube for everybody out there in the community. Antonia says most card shops won't buy singles from new sets for 3 months after release, and that is correct. There's only one that I know of around here, but he'll only buy them if they're gradable. If he thinks they're gradable, he will buy them. If they are not, if he does not think they're gradable, he will not buy the cards until 3, even sometimes 6 months after release. So he doesn't want to get caught where these cards drop in value and he's trying to buy them and he tries to, either A, he makes people mad because he's offering 50% value on them for what they are on TCG Player, or he's just saying no to them because of the fact that, hey, the value isn't set yet. This is all over the place. It's too new. We don't know where everything's going to be. So he just kind of holds them off unless he sees something. Like if you were to bring a Lily's Clefairy EX, he would look over it behind the counter or on the counter with you, and he would tell you if he thinks it's great. If he thinks it's gradable, he'll give you an offer. If he doesn't think it's gradable, he won't give you an offer. He's not gonna purchase it if he doesn't see potentially some value in it right away for himself. So, right or wrong, that's just the way that a lot of the card shops are when it comes down to the new sets. Just because there's a lot of potential loss if you're buying things up front and trying to sit there and buy things to try and sell on your store, trying to get them. Number one, they're always 30 to 40% under value of TCG Player, but they are also going to be in there trying to predict how much further that's going to fall before they can sell it and make a profit on it, which is something that they're not willing to risk on. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't do it. I usually kind of stay away from singles until they're at least 6 months old, and then I kind of revisit them. I just like looking at them to see how they're trending right now. It's not like I don't sit there and watch them, because if I am looking at specific cards for number one, collecting, or number two, trying to flip or potential investments in the short term, then yeah, I mean, I will watch from the flat line, and when I start seeing some possible upward movement, then possibly jump in and purchase them if I think that they're strong enough to continue to draw that and have that happen. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what we got, guys, here tonight. Like I said, Pokemon hobby is what it is. I mean, people need to stop, in my opinion, need to stop worrying about it, relax a little bit, take it easy, and just see where things go, because this market is going to shift again. It always does. And when it does, then everybody's going to go into panic mode of how bad and how the crisis is and how we're all going to die and we're never going to make any money again. And you should get out of Pokemon because it's failing. It's crumbling. It's failing. It's falling apart. And yeah, it's just not worth the worries. It's really not worth sitting there getting all bunched up and worried about the fact that everything isn't in stock, because eventually it'll shift and everything will be in stock, and everybody will be crying that there's too much. So once again, guys, thank you everybody for joining us this evening here on Northwoods TCG. Like I said, we will be back live on Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Central Time here again next week, unless something crazy happens. And then watch the community page. I will post up on the community page when we're going to be going live. If I do have to shift it to Wednesday again, I hope not, but it's a possibility that we may. Not going to say no, that it's not possible. I want to get back to Tuesday. That's my goal. And other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for joining. If you can, consider the channel membership. Once again, it helps out the channel, helps me out, and gets me a free cup of coffee every day at work, which is greatly appreciated. And also make sure you guys check out down below in the link tree. There is the account for the merch and for the Northwoods TCG store as well. So if you're looking for some products, yeah, it's expensive. I don't have much. I'm paying the distributor pretty much MSRP to get it myself. But hey, if you guys are interested or looking for those Pokemon products, I do have them available in my store and available for you there on also TikTok and on Drip Shop Live. So whichever one you like to join us on, we have them all available. We will be going live again here on Thursday on all three platforms as well. So if you want to join in, have some fun, just sit down and talk. Definitely feel free to come and join us and have some fun here ripping your favorite Pokemon sets. Otherwise, hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. Watch for the video coming out on Friday, and hopefully we'll see you next week live here on Northwoods TCG.